everybody. It is September 2nd. Yeah, what a journey this has been. And I will be asking for your forgiveness today because we will be planted in First Chronicles. If you've been with us on this journey since the beginning, you will know that First and Second Chronicles chronicles the lineages and the just kind of the main points of the tribes of Israel. And so today is just like all the others, filled with names and places that are so hard to pronounce. So I just ask for your grace as I attempt to read these coming verses. So we will be kind of jumping around a little bit today. Like I said, we will be planted in First Chronicles, but we will be jumping around chapters 5, 6, and 7. My name is Bria Doan. This is Fit Your Ministries, where we travel through the Bible one day at a time in chronological order every day this year. So we will be beginning First Chronicles chapter 5, verses 18 through 26. There were 44,760 capable warriors in the armies of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. They were all skilled in combat and armed with shields, swords, and bows. They waged war against the Hagrites, and the Gederites, the Naphishites, and the Nodabites. They cried out to God during the battle, and he answered their prayer because they trusted in him. So the Hagrites and all their allies were defeated. The plunder taken from the Hagrites included 50,000 camels, 250,000 sheep and goats, 2,000 donkeys, and 100,000 captives. Many of the Hagrites were killed in battle because God was fighting against them. The people of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh lived in their land until they were taken into exile. The half-tribe of Manasseh was very large and spread through the land from Bashan to Baal Hermon, Sinir, and Mount Hermon. These were the leaders of their clans: Epher, Ishi, Eliel, Azareel, Jeremiah, Hodaviah, and Jadil. These men had a great reputation as mighty warriors and leaders of their clans. But these tribes were unfaithful to the God of their ancestors. They worshipped the gods of the nations that God had destroyed. So the God of Israel caused King Pul of Assyria, also known as Tiglath-Pileser, to invade the land and take away the people of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh as captives. The Assyrians exiled them to Halah, Habor, Hara, and the Gozan River, where they remain to this day. First Chronicles chapter 6, verse 3. The children of Amram were Aaron, Moses, and Miriam. The sons of Aaron were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. First Chronicles chapter 6, verse 49. Only Aaron and his descendants served as priests. They presented the offerings on the altar of burnt offering and the altar of incense, and they performed all the other duties related to the most holy place. They made atonement for Israel by doing everything that Moses, the servant of God, had commanded them. First Chronicles chapter 6, verses 4 through 15. Eleazar was the father of Phinehas. Phinehas was the father of Abishua. Abishua was the father of Buki. Buki was the father of Uzi. Uzi was the father of Zerahiah. Zerahiah was the father of Meraioth. Meraioth was the father of Amariah. Amariah was the father of Ahitub. Ahitub was the father of Zadok. Zadok was the father of Ahimaaz. Ahimaaz was the father of Azariah. Azariah was the father of Johanan. Johanan was the father of Azariah, the high priest at the temple built by Solomon in Jerusalem. Azariah was the father of Amariah. Amariah was the father of Ahitub. Ahitub was the father of Zadok. Zadok was the father of Shallum. Shallum was the father of Hilkiah. Hilkiah was the father of Azariah. Azariah was the father of Sariah. Sariah was the father of Jehozadak, who went into exile when the Lord sent the people of Judah and Jerusalem into captivity under Nebuchadnezzar. 1 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 1 through chapter 8, verse 28. The four sons of Issachar were Tola, Puah, Jashub, and Shimron. The sons of Tola were Uzi, Rephaiah, Jeriel, Jameh, Ibsam, and Shemuel. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan. At the time of King David, the total number of mighty warriors listed in the records of these clans were 22,600. The sons of Uzi were Israiah. The sons of Israiah were Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishiah. These five became the leaders of clans. All of them had many wives and many sons, so the total number of men available for military service among their descendants was 36,000. The total number of mighty warriors from all the clans of the tribe of Issachar was 87,000. All of them were listed in their genealogical records. 3 of Benjamin's sons were Bela, Becher, and Jediel. The 5 sons of Bela were Ezbon, Uzi, Uziel, Jeremoth, and Eri. Each of them was a leader of an ancestral clan. The total number of mighty warriors from these clans was 22,034, as listed in their genealogical records. The sons of Becher were Zemarai, Joash, Eliezer, Elonai, Omri, Jeremoth, Abijah, Anathoth, and Elameth. Each of them was a leader of an ancestral clan. The total number of mighty warriors and leaders from these clans was 20,200, as listed in their genealogical records. The son of Jediel was Bilhan. The sons of Bilhan were Jeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Kenaanah, Zethan, Tarshish, and Ahishahar. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan. From these clans, the total number of mighty warriors ready for war was 17,200. The sons of were Shupim and Hupim. Hushim was the son of Ahur. The sons of Naphtali were Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shillem. They were all descendants of Jacob's concubine, Bilhah. The descendants of Manasseh, through his Aramean concubine, included Asriel. She also bore Machir, the father of Gilead. Machir found wives for Hupim and Shupim. Machir had a sister named Maacah. One of his descendants was Zelophehad, who had only daughters. Machir's wife, Maacah, gave birth to a son, whom she named Peresh. His brother's name was Sheresh. The sons of Peresh were Ulam and Rakem. The son of Ulam was Bedan, and all these were considered Gileadites, descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh. Machir's sister, Hamoleketh, gave birth to Ishad, Abiezer, and Mala. The sons of Shemida were Ahiam, Shechem, Likhi, and Anaim. The descendants of Ephraim were Shuthele, Bered, Tahath, Eliada, Tahath, Zabad, Shuthele, and Ezer and Eliad. These two were killed trying to steal livestock from the local farmers near Gath. Their father, Ephraim, mourned for them a long time, and his relatives came to comfort him. Afterward, Ephraim slept with his wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. Ephraim named him Beriah because of the tragedy his family had suffered. He had a daughter named Shirah. She built the towns of Lower and Upper Beth Horon and Uzen Shirah. The descendants of Ephraim included Repha, Resheph, Telha, Tanan, Ladan, Amihud, Elishama, Nun, and Joshua. The descendants of Ephraim lived in the territory that included Bethel and its surrounding towns to the south, Naaran to the east, Gezer and its villages to the west, and Shechem and its surrounding villages to the north, as far as Ayah and its towns. Along the border of Manasseh were the towns of Beth Shan, Ta'anak, Megiddo, Dor, and their surrounding villages. The descendants of Joseph, son of Israel, lived in these towns. The sons of Asher were Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah. They had a sister named Sarah. The sons of Beriah were Heber, Malkiel, the father of Bizraith. The sons of Heber were Japhlet, Shomer, and Hotham. They had a sister named Shua. The sons of Japhlet were Pashak, Bimhal, and Ashvath. The sons of Shomer were Ahi, Roga, Huba, and Aram. The sons of his brother Helem were Zophah, Imnah, Shalesh, and Amal. The sons of Zophah were Suha, Harnepher, Shual, Beri, Imrah, Bezer, Hod, Shammah, Shilsha, Ithron, and Bera. The sons of Jether were Jephunneh, Pispa, and Ara. The sons of Ulah were Ara, Haniel, and Rizia. Each of these descendants of Asher was the head of an ancestral clan. They were all select men, mighty warriors, and outstanding leaders. The total number of men available for military service was 26,000, as listed in their genealogical records. Benjamin's first son was Bela. The second was Ashbel. The third, Ahara. The fourth, Noah. And the fifth was Rapha. The sons of Bela were Adar, Gera, Abihud, Abishua, Naaman, Ahoa, Gera, Shaphuaphan, and Huram. The sons of Ehud, leaders of the clans living at Geba, were exiled to Manahathath. Ehud's sons were Naaman, Ahijah, and Jerah. Jerah, who led them into exile, was the father of Uzzah and Ahihud. After Shaharaim divorced his wives Hushim and Ba'ara, he had children in the land of Moab. His wife Hodesh gave birth to Jobab, Zibiah, Meshech, Malcham, Jeuz, Sakia, and Mirma. These sons all became the leaders of the clans. Sha'araim's wife Hushim had already given birth to Abitub and Elpaal. The sons of Elpaal were Eber, Misham, Shemed, who built the towns of Ono and Lod in their nearby villages. Beriah and Shema, they were the leaders of the clans living in Ajalon, and they drove out the inhabitants of Gath. Ahio, Shashak, Jeremoth, Zebediah, Arad, Eder, Michael, Ishpa, and Joha were the sons of Beriah. Zebediah, Meshulam, Hizki, Heber, Ishmerai, Isliah, and Jobab were the sons of Elpaal. Jakim, Zikri, Zabdi, Elinai, Zilithai, Eliel, Hadiah, Bariah, and Shimrath were the sons of Shimei. Ishpan, Eber, Eliel, Abdon, Zikri, Hanan, Hananiah, Elam, Anathothijah, Ephdiah, and Penuel were the sons of Shashak. Shamsharai, Shariah, Athaliah, Jaarishia, Elijah, and Zikri were the sons of Jeroham. These were the leaders of the ancestral clans. They were listed in their genealogical records, and they all lived in Jerusalem. So in today's reading, we can get lost in just the repetitiveness and all these names that are so hard to pronounce and hard to read. But the lineage of the story of the Bible is vital for us to understand and remember history. Our journey in First Chronicles takes us back to this book of Numbers, to Aaron, to Moses, to all of these other things that we have read up until today. And we can remember who they were. Like Aaron and Moses obeyed every command. They didn't pick and choose. And in chapter 6, verse 49, we are reminded here that that they presented the offerings, that they did all of those things. And we heard, and I don't know if you remember, but Uzzah, when he handled the Ark of the Covenant, he did it wrong. Like, he was disciplined with his life. And so it's important, this is kind of like illuminates that we should follow all the commands that God gives us, not pick and choose. Oh, I'll do this one and I'll do this one. And if we remember, like they cast lots. So it was like drawing straws as to where they would live and where they would set up their homes. The Levites lived all among all of the tribes as they were the priests, and their design was to help people to stay close to God. So they didn't have specific land for them, if you remember from way back when, Deuteronomy and Numbers. But, we hear names that we know. We hear names like Joshua, big name, King David, and we're reminded of where it is that they came from. The last thing that I wanted to, it was a real quick mention, but I do want to say that in 1 Chronicles chapter 8, verses 8 through 10, it's talked about the divorce between Shaharaim and Hushim and Ba'ara. Now, we hear about divorce and polygamy all in the Old Testament. And although they are written in the Bible, that does not mean that God says that it's okay. We will read later this month in Malachi, God says, I hate divorce. But Moses permitted divorce because the people's hearts were getting hardened. And so he allowed it to happen so that they would be softer in their hearts. But it is not what God intended marriage to be. God intended marriage to be lifetime, intended marriage to be between one man and one woman, and so forth. And we're going to read about that in Matthew as we get into the New Testament. Yeah, so that was a lot of names. We'll do a few more tomorrow as we continue to finish up First Chronicles. Father, thank you for this illumination of your word, and that we as humanity have created our own set of rules. And sometimes these rules go against your word, God. Help us to tease out those and to pull them like weeds from our lives, God. God, that we may stop doing behaviors that are against or not completely in line with your commandments, God. We want to be like Aaron and Moses and follow all your commands that you have given us. And like we said yesterday, that when we find ourselves not in line with your commandments, God, give us a soft heart that can humble ourselves before you and come and ask for forgiveness, God. God, that we may not be so proud and so fearful of your discipline that we choose to continue to go forth in our sin rather than turn from it and come back to you. Thank you for being a Father with open arms, always embracing us, accepting us, even after we make a mess sometimes. Thank you for being there to hold us up when we can't. We love you, we praise you, we thank you for the gift of today. In your name we pray. Amen. Friends, I wish you a wonderful and most blessed day today, and I can't wait to see you right back here tomorrow. Until then, my name is Bria Doan. This is Fit Your Ministries. Bye, guys.